Morning Year 5s, this is the reading video. I quite like the look of this text, The Vampirates by Justin Somper. I've not read the whole book, just read the extract that I've given you, but it's quite an interesting concept. I'm just going to have a sip of my coffee. So hopefully you've read through the text. It's just this page here. So hopefully you've had a skim read of that. And we've got some Dr. Deduction, also some Wordsmith Wendy. My two favourite metamates for reading. Probably, other than Retrieval, I think these two are probably the most common and most important for your personal reading. If to be able to deduce what's happening, create inference, and work out words, essentially, you need that to be able to read and enjoy a book yourself, don't you? So, anyway, I'm chatting away. What is the Diablo, and how do you know? Well, I'm going to skim read here. It's down here. You can find the Diablo down here, then down the side of the Diablo and deep into the ocean. Not any clue just in that sentence, but if you read the bits before, leading up to it, down the worst thing you could do, you stop thinking about it, you should never stop thinking about it, it was a long way to fall. Go to the deputy captain. Ooh, some clues there. A few meters of rigging, that's another clue there. So, by reading this whole thing, there's little bits of hints towards the fact that the Diablo is a ship. What does it mean to grimace? Now, I can't find where... Oh, it's there. Connor the Tempest grimaced. If you grimace at something, it's... let's have a look. Come on, keep climbing, you can do it. Connor grimaced. His legs felt like lead and jelly. If you grimace, it's kind of like a wince. It's kind of a, I really don't want to do this. It's that expression of real unhappiness, fear, pain across your face. You genuinely do not want to do something. Finding copy of phrase, which tells you Connor is experienced at sea. Now, this one you might have to go looking for a little bit. Because it's an impression that you get. So you know that he's talking about he's on ship, he's on the Diablo, it's in the ocean, you've got rigging, but it doesn't necessarily tell you that he's been at sea a long time. There's little clues though. You could have any of these, I suppose, or all of them together. He wants to conquer this fear. It was time, way past time, but the fear was deep inside him. So that way past time, yes, it's a fear of heights, but it's the climbing up to the crow's nest. But that's what, well, to be fair, you're inferring that as well. So that little parenthesis there is a little hint that he's been wanting to climb up for a long time, which could tell you he's been at sea for a while. I think the biggest clues, though, are down in this last bit here. His mind flashed back past 3 months. Nearly drowning, the death of his comrade. Comrade's a word for people who you work with in the army or navy or someone you're very close to. The terrible night that they led the attack. So there's clues in this third paragraph that he's been at sea, his experience, leading the attack, having comrades. No, I suppose you could say either way, I suppose. So there's clues in that bottom part there. What do you think rigging is? So rigging is down here, I've just pointed at it. There. You've taken on worse foes than a few meters of rigging. Rigging is all the wood and rope, everything that makes the ship's sails, and it's the beams. So it's all the contraptions on the ship. If you don't know that, I think I don't know, it could be tricky to work out what he means. A few meters of rigging, whilst he's climbing up, might help you realise it's something to do with the ship. So even if you just think, it's something on the ship. But I think some of these are quite tricky today. The blue ones. What do you think the betrayal might have been? This is down in the last paragraph here. So 3 months ago, his dad's funeral, nearly drowning, being rescued by Chenley, being separated from Grace, whoever that is, death of his dear comrade Jez, His betrayal by Chen Li, Commodore Kyo and Commodore Kyo and Jacoby Blunt. His betrayal by. Now this is some strange wording. I'm still wondering, has he betrayed them? Or have they betrayed him? His betrayal by Chen Li. He's betrayed them. The terrible night when he led the attack on Sidorio and Jez. Now, Jez was the death of... I think there's a lot of place where you guys can think, ooh, what's happened here? I'm going to infer that he's betrayed some of the people on his ship. His very close friend has died, but he then led the attack on his very close friend. Not Jez, but the thing Jez has become. You might want to look at the title of the book here for some clues there. What do you think? Do you think Connor feels guilty? Do you think Connor feels guilty? Dark snapshots the past 3 months. His betrayal. The terrible night when he led the attack. No, not Jez, but the thing Jez had become. The memory of him burnt in him like fire, as hot as torches, consuming the flames. I don't know if he feels guilty. I think it's affecting him. I think the memories are still on his mind, aren't they? Whatever he's done, and for whatever reason he's done it, they are still very much at the front of his mind, and like it says, burnt in his mind. Some tricky questions there today, guys, with some for your inference and deduction. But it's an interesting text, and I'm interested to know what some of your answers would have been there and how you've answered them. Because I've purposely given you a very short piece, but the questions themselves require a bit of, very much thinking on your own 2 feet with only some clues from the text there. So well done if you answered those questions. And remember, as long as you put, I think this because it says this, then it's plausible, isn't it? So, brilliant. Well done.